You mentioned pricing earlier, and we've had like entire conversations kind of diving into that, and how marketplaces can use it as a lever. So
Oh yes, for sure. And like even with our like pricing as comes to transaction fees, for example, and we've played with that a lot. We've changed it a lot. We run a lot of experiments, like A/B testing experiments, to understand like what are those levers, like how do people actually care about like transact like fees, sellers, for example? And we started, I think, at 15%, and now like our fee ranges from 15 all the way to 60%, believe it or not. But we saw that like, we ran a lot of experiments, and we saw that, there's certain price points that people don't care about. There's like motivation is different. And so we're able to just make these tweaks over time.
yeah, I'm sure you not only had the kind of transaction fee there, but also the delivery fee as well. So are
Yes.
there maybe like kind of interesting learnings around that?
Yeah, so the reason why we brought delivery in-house is actually to be able to pass down the cost savings to customers. Because what we learned is the cheaper the shipping, the higher the sell-through. And so, when we first launched the company, we actually didn't have delivery in-house. We used moving companies in New York City and kind of optimize within like their free availability. Think of like an Uber type of model. That's what we tried to do. While it worked in the beginning, it's just the quality of service is not there. So anytime they didn't show up or there was an issue, we were still getting blamed as AptDeco, although we had nothing to do with it. But also the costs were just too high. Like the shipping costs for the customer were too high. But out of desperation, one day they canceled all our jobs last minute, and we had everything scheduled. And so we just hired a we went and got a zip van and found a couple of guys on Craigslist and did delivery that way. And we had people call us, say, "Wow, this is the best delivery experience ever." That was the aha moment around that, like the beginning time period. And what we then learned is, yeah, we can actually save a lot of money for the customer by doing it ourselves.
And I can also imagine too that there's probably like a higher willingness to pay for that service, say for instance in like New York maybe versus kind of other areas, I would imagine.
Yes, it is. And actually it's makes taking things off platform harder. Because this is a big question for, I think people get a lot as far as marketplaces, like how do you protect about taking things off platform by offering this end-to-end, system. And like, even when sellers try to take things off platform, buyers are like, well, I don't have a way to deliver it. AptDeco is way cheaper for me than like hiring a man in a van, or even like, there's a new startups that are doing this like a Lug or a Dolly. It's not a revenue driver. We do make some margin from it, but that's not the primary way we make money.